So, this is kind of interesting. I just showed you that Jesus Christ, what I call old or real Christianity, I guess, is almost always, especially in the Orthodox style, is almost always doing this, right? What does that represent? The Holy Trinity. And that's copied from Buddhism, from the East. In almost every popular Buddha image, it's the same thing, but the Buddha is sitting down and has the left hand up like this. So this, if you go anywhere in Thailand, anywhere, even in Indonesia, possibly Japan, I'm not sure about that, they have different kinds of Buddhism all over the world. But this is pretty much the most typical stance that the Buddha would have in almost any statue. So it's basically copied from the Eastern religions. So why is that important? Because right now we tend to think of Christianity as a Western religion. Christianity is an Eastern religion. We are now in Toledo, which was built by Muslims, right? The most protection the Jews ever had was actually by Muslims because they were driven out of northern Spain. They had to come to the south of Spain. So the Catholics in this country were so intolerant back then, they drove out the Jews and they tried to drive out the Muslims as well. So they had to flee to here, Toledo, where they built effectively a fortress. That unfortunately, there's a lesson here. They built effectively walls that made it impossible to beat them in hand-to-hand combat. The problem is that the Catholics came up with a catapult. And so these walls that they had built, the Muslims had built to protect themselves, ended up walling themselves in. And that's a lesson for anybody today that thinks that a wall is going to protect them.